So my first trip was for the Junior Matildas in Thailand, which is the round 3 qualifiers, and that was intense, versus in Japan, North Korea. They obviously have very strong youth teams. And then
Okay, so welcome back to another episode here on Sandy Bay Media. Make sure to give us a like and a follow. This episode is brought to you in collaboration with FNX Sports. Show them some support, go give them a like. Hannah, can you just introduce what's going on today?
So we're here today with Indiah Reily, who have just signed with European powerhouses Fortuna Hjørring in Denmark. So she's following in the footsteps of former Matildas like Emily Van Egmond, Elise Kellen-Knight, and she's the 13th Aussie to do so.
Can you just give us a background on your footballing journey so far and why and how you got involved in the game?
So I actually started playing when I was 12, so it's a bit late compared to most players. So this is my 7th year playing. Everything kind of happened really quick for me. I started at high school, and that's kind of where things really kicked off for me. Like I joined my high school team and just the local club, and then I moved up into MPL, and then from there into the Roar Academy, and then to the W League team, and now in Europe.
That's awesome. Very exciting journey and very quick journey.
Yeah, it's been very short so far, but I hope it goes for a lot longer.
Yeah, obviously, definitely. I've got a quote in here from the women's game earlier this year. From an article from the women's game earlier this year. It says, the main thing is being surrounded by all of these Matildas. How did that help your development as a player and as an individual?
I think over my 2 seasons playing in the W League, I was improving from being around such talented players. Like we had both those seasons, we had a huge amount of Matildas. So it was great for the younger players coming through. Like a lot of us looked up to them, and being so close to them and learning from them each training really helped us grow, and it's helping Australian football as well.
Definitely. Were there any memorable moments or anything that stood out for you when you were there at Brisbane Roar?
I think just training and like just saying like, oh, maybe take your touch this way, like little things like that. You kind of just, you're in the moment, but you take a step back afterwards and you think, wow, like a Matilda just told me, like she's trying to help me get better and be a better player, which is really like humbling, and it makes you grateful for the opportunity.
Oh yeah, definitely would. Was there anyone in the team particularly that you looked up to, or that guided you or mentored you?
Pretty much everyone, all the Matildas, even the internationals that came over, everyone was great. The culture at Brisbane was nice, and everyone really got along, and it was like a family. So yeah, it was really nice there. Everyone kind of had their role, and yeah.
In any training sessions, did you have any moments like where they said something like to improve you as a footballer that you never actually realised before?
Yeah, definitely. Like every single time, like I'm thinking, I take a step back now and look at it, I'm like, wow, like they're actually right. Like I can do this better, and I want to do this better for the team and for myself. So yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, those moments like that, things that you don't think about, and it just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, so looking in terms of sort of your first season, how was that like as a youngster?
My first season at the Roar, it was quite daunting, but fortunately I'd been training with the W League team a few seasons before, just as a train-on.
Yeah.
So I had a little bit of experience, but going into W League games was definitely something I was nervous about. But I think once I got going and like got a few starts and more minutes and everything, things kind of started falling into place, and I was learning more about the game, and I was improving every game. Being around top class players really helped.
Oh, that always helps. And then I think you had a few accolades that year as well.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to be awarded on a successful team season, which is really humbling, and it's something I'm grateful for.
And what was that experience like? I know you just mentioned it was humbling. Was that something that was a bit of out of the blue for you?
Yeah, we had a few young players in the team that year. So to be rewarded as like an up and coming young player was really special, and it's something that I'll take with me. Like, I don't forget it. I don't take it lightly. It's such a honour to me.
How do you think in your 2 years of being at Brisbane Roar, like, have you grown individually?
I think I've become a lot more mentally strong. Like, in the first season, I was a bit nervous, and I think now I'm playing with more confidence, and especially towards the end of last W League season, I was playing with confidence, and I was like taking players on, which I don't think I was really doing in my first season at all. So I think that's somewhere where I've grown, and it's something that I want to keep growing in as well over here in Denmark.
Brilliant.
We'll go over to the Denmark. So obviously you've only been there about a week.
Yeah.
How have you adjusted to the move in such a short time?
So yeah, been here about a week. Jet lag really got me. It took me about, I want to say, like 5 days to get used to the time zone, which is crazy. Normally it doesn't affect me that bad. But honestly, everyone here at the club and in Hjørring have been so helpful. The other internationals, they've been amazing as well, like telling me, and even my teammates telling me how things work over here, what we need to do so we can work together as a team on and off the field.
Cool. And what was probably some of the biggest differences or challenges that you've had to overcome just moving here in a short time?
The biggest one is the language. I never really heard anyone speak Danish or like learned it at all. So hearing people speak in another language and then kind of just waiting to be translated is a little bit different, because obviously I grew up in New Zealand and Australia, so they both speak English. So this is the first time being in a foreign country, like living wise. So it's a bit different. And even like cooking and everything, because now I have to cook for myself. All the ingredients and like things on the back of a box are in Danish. So I need to get out my Google Translate. But luckily we have 2 Danish housemates that have been amazing and very helpful in translating everything for me too.
Awesome. Into the football aspect, how different have you found it there for female football, like the community, and probably going over from being a community footballer to being in a professional setting in Denmark?
Yeah, so over here at Fortuna, there's an academy, and everyone here kind of plays football, and like you start really, really young, and the fields are always full with kids training and playing, which is something like it's really good to see that women's football is so big over here. And even in trainings, you can see like we have quite a young team, but everyone is so professional, and it's just good to see. Like, I think it's very rare to see such young players being so professional.
How's your experience been settling in there? You've said that they've obviously been very welcoming, and how has it been for you, like training wise and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, joining into training really helped me with my jet lag, because after training I was exhausted, so it helped me adjust to the time zone and everything. But yeah, the house is lovely. It's so close to the field, so like I don't need to drive. I can just jump on a bike and I'm there, or even walk to training, but bike up to the shops. Like, it's perfect.
Yeah. And how's training been? Is it a step up, say, from Australian football?
Yeah, I think over here everyone is kind of at the same level. Like, there's not so much a big gap between like the internationals and the young players. Like, everyone's kind of at the same level. So it makes trainings really competitive, and it kind of lifts the intensity, because everybody wants to be on that field on game day. So it's really intense and competitive.
Yeah, cool. For language and lifestyle, like we've been talking about, obviously the barrier is a bit of an issue, but what are you looking at doing with your time outside of football?
Outside of football, we just got a bike. We've been given a bike. So Hjørring's a really small town. So me and one of my housemates and teammates are going to go for a bike on a nice sunny summer's day for once over here in Denmark, and just explore the town. It's such a beautiful old town. So I definitely want to be out as much as I can and seeing the culture and the different ways of living over here.
We didn't talk a lot about your international experience. How was going over and playing for the Young Matildas like?
So my first trip was for the Junior Matildas in Thailand, which is the round 3 qualifiers, and that was intense, versus Japan, North Korea. They obviously have very strong youth teams. And then my recent trip for the Young Matildas was the same sort of tournament. So versus Japan and North Korea again. They're just top class, really. And so it was a tough game, 2 very tough games and tough results we came across. But I think I grew. I think I learned so much under the coaching staff that we had on all the trips I went away with the Young Matildas and Junior Matildas. So I learned how to be mentally strong even more over there as well, because playing in tough conditions, in tough circumstances, like a World Cup spot was on the line. So it was really tough.
Oh, yes. To your future outlook, where do you want to go? I mean, it sounds like a little bit of a crazy question, but where do you want to head, football and even post-football?
I think football, obviously I want to be playing at the biggest tournaments, the World Cups, the Olympics. I want to be playing in more European football in years to come. So that's the main goal for football. And I just want to keep improving and growing as a player and a person, because being 18, I think this experience will help me grow a lot. I'm becoming more independent and learning to do things on my own. And outside of football, I'm not too sure what I want to do afterwards. So hopefully I don't have to decide for years to come. So, yeah. I feel like once I know, I'll know. But I just haven't come across anything that kind of speaks to me and speaks to me what I want to do for the rest of my life after football.
And right now, you're having a fantastic time playing football. You're playing at the highest level and just enjoying it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it's all about. What advice would you have to young players that are looking at you and wanting to follow your footsteps?
Honestly, I feel like everyone says it, but just working hard. I think doing your own thing in your backyard, kicking the ball, juggling, anything helps. And I think just working hard, staying committed, and all the sacrifices you make will be worth it in the end. So just keep going.
And just to finish off, what's your most favourite goal that you've scored?
My favourite goal?
Yeah.
I think my first one for Australia over in I think it's the round 2 qualifiers for the Youth World Cup. That was a good one. Yeah.
Can you talk us through that goal?
I think we were versus Nepal, I want to say, and it was late in the game and we were winning by quite a few, so it didn't really help the score or anything. But it was just nice to know that I did something and know that I did something for the team. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and your first goal for your country, like I was telling Hannah when she was on here, you always remember your first goal.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking the time out and coming on. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.